Hello YouTubers, and welcome back to the Marty K from LA channel. Today's video illustrates how I tested my new Anker C1000 power station with my ResMed Airsense 11. This video is not sponsored, and I purchased the items that are shown in the video. I want to let you see the results of my testing when using the ResMed Airsense 11 in the configuration that I normally use at night. All of the videos that I have watched show how to save power by turning off humidity and using a non-heated tube. I wanted to see how the Anker C1000 would supply power to the CPAP machine and how much power will be used over a typical night in which I use both humidity and use a heated tube. This video and description contains Amazon affiliate links, which means that if you click on one of the product links, I'll receive a small commission. This commission does not affect the amount you pay for items via Amazon. This helps us continue creating and sharing videos like this. Thank you for the support. Everything in this video is based on information we learned from online resources, our own testing, experience, and documents that we have read. Please do your own research before making any important decisions. I suggest you always follow the safety and usage recommendations of your product's manufacturer. Thank you for watching. If you are like me, you need the CPAP machine to be able to sleep. Power outages in the night would be detrimental to any sleep that you may get without using your CPAP. The last power outage we experienced was late at night, and I suffered the next day after the lack of sleep due to not being able to use my CPAP machine. There are batteries available that were designed specifically for CPAP machines that I had considered. The reason I chose a power station is that there are a multitude of uses that a power station is capable of and not limited to supplying power to one specific device. When choosing a power station, a concern of mine was the total watt-hours available with the power station and the power draw from the devices that I wanted to use during a power outage. The ResMed Power Airsense 11 power supply is listed as 65 watts. If I were to sleep for 8 hours using humidity and the heated hose, theoretically, I would expect to use about 520 watt-hours per night. 65 watt power supply times 8 hours is equal to 520 watt-hours. Yes, I understand that the CPAP does not draw a continuous 65 watts at all times of use. I normally use my ResMed Airsense 11 for approximately 8 hours per night, so my calculations were based on that usage. I received my Anker C1000 in excellent condition and appreciated the fact that Anker sealing tape was used on the box to give me the peace of mind that I was not receiving a used product. I installed the Anker app, connected to the Anker C1000 via Bluetooth, which gave me the ability to configure the Anker Solix C1000 Wi-Fi connection. I updated the Anker power station to current firmware via my Wi-Fi connection. I first fully charged my Anker Solix C1000 power station using an AC connection and supplied charging cable. In my testing, I only connected one AC device, being the Airsense 11, to my Anker Solix C1000. If I would also use other DC, USB, or AC devices, my results would surely vary. What I have found when determining the power requirements for these other devices is that they vary widely of what these other devices document for their power requirements. Some devices document only the volts add current of amps. Some devices did not provide any power requirements, and some make it easy by supplying the power requirements in watts. Please keep in mind that even though some items such as the small AC heaters shown indicate that their power requirement, in my example 1500 watts, are shown, the heater does not require continuous 1500 watts. The space heater would use a lot less power when the room rose to the configured temperature. In the case that a value of power draw of a device needed to be discovered and no documentation was available, I use an inexpensive watt meter whose link is in the description of this video. This short video shows how I used a watt meter to gather the amps and what's being used by a no-name LED light that I had no information for. I was also able to gather the minimum and maximum watts being used. I needed a power station that would at the bare minimum supply 520 watt-hours. This eliminated the Anker C200 and the Anker C300 300 models. The Anker C800 was also considered, but I wanted to leave open additional watt hours for additional devices connected to the power station during a power outage. Remember, power in watts is equal to current and amps multiplied by the voltage in volts. A couple of notes before I provide my individual test results. First, I don't suggest using your CPAP so close to the power station that there may be danger that the CPAP's water supply may leak or spill into or onto the power station. Second, your results may vary from mine, as there are other variables to consider. I also suggest before you decide on which power station to purchase, that you calculate the power draw of the devices that you want to use with your power station, considering all situations. My calculations were based on my specific needs for short-term power outage, between 1 and 2 days. I also based my calculations on the Anker Solix C1000 having a value of 1056 for the total watt hours based on a full charge. Okay, here were my results. After charging to 100%, I used my ResMed Airsense 11 with both humidity, water in the water tank, and a heated tube. After the first night, it was recorded that I used my CPAP machine for 8.18 hours and used 39% of the C1000's power. After the second night, I used the CPAP for 8.43 hours and used another 39% of the power in the C1000, ending up with 22% power remaining. The only suggestion for Anker would be to include a longer AC charging cable. I recommend the Anker C1000 for use on a limited power outage basis with the ResMed Airsense 11. The Anker C1000 fits my needs, and according to my calculations and testing, will be able to supply enough power for my ResMed Airsense 11 for 2 nights' sleep. In the future, I would like to test the Anker C300 to see if it would be more than sufficient for our day trips that don't include overnight stays.